Hi guys, welcome to our group presentation video. In here, we want to present our presentation, but before that, I want to introduce our group member. There's Kak Patricia Ruth. She will be explain about language development. And there is me, Sifra Alfiani Suradi. I will be explain about school context and the activities. And the last is there is Wulan Purwitaningrum. She will be explain about cognitive development. So let's start it. So in here we pick students from public junior high school in Kopeng with grade 7 and we choose descriptive text about animal for the topic that we give to them. Okay, next, in here we have two activities for students. First activities, there is speaking activity, and the second is writing activity. The first activity is speaking activity. In here, we have a game, and the name is Who Am I? This activity will be due after teacher explain about the material. Okay, for the game Who Am I? First, the teacher will demonstrate about the activity. Then students make groups of 4 students. Then each students will be given one card which different from one another and each students have to describe the animals' names in their own words, and the rest have to guess it. The teacher will visit each group and ask one student to tell what animals that have been described by each member. At the end of the class, the teacher will ask 3 students to describe the animal on their card in front of the class, and the whole class has to make a guess. Then, second activity that is writing activity. In here, students make outlines about their favorite animal in descriptive text. Next, students write a descriptive text with identification and description. The descriptive text consists of 10 sentences about their favorite animal, and the sentence must be connected to each other.
These activities are appropriate to cognitive development, starting with the brain. As Nelson said, synaptic connection between neurons can change dramatically as a consequence of the learning experience of children and adolescents. Connection between neurons are playing a very important role because they are used when children focus their attention, remember, and think. For instance, in our activities, we have speaking and writing activity, which means children have to focus their attention, remember, and think about how animals are look like so they can describe it well. The next theory that can support why our activities are appropriate for junior high school students, especially for public school in Kopeng, is from Piaget's theory, starting with Piaget's cognitive process. The first point that we are going to talking about is schemas. Piaget said that as the child seeks to construct an understanding of the world, the developing brain creates schemas, which mean action or mental representation that organize knowledge in one's brain in order to construct an understanding of the world. As we know, junior high school itself are already older children that already have schemas that include strategies and plans for solving problems. For example, students here have to solve their problems on describing animals on their own words with classifying animals by size, shape, or color. The second point is about assimilation and accommodation. As we know, assimilation occurs when children incorporate new information into their existing schemas, and for accommodation itself occurs when children adjust their schemas to fit new information and experience. Consider junior high school student in Kopeng. So based on our activity, before the activity is started, the teacher will demonstrate about who am I activity. And at the same time, students are observing how the teacher has done. So students realize about the structure of show possession or the use of has or have. Recognizing each of these things, students fit their behavior into these schemas. Students already have assimilation. However, in the writing activity, they have to apply what they heard into the written one. Student here will apply it and recognize it into the appropriate sequence, starting from general into the specific points. These adjustments here reflect their ability to slightly alter their conception of the word, or we can say as accommodation. As Piaget stated, both assimilation and accommodation are required in many of the child's thinking challenges. And the next one is about Piaget's four stages for cognitive development. We pick junior high school at here because matches with the formal operational stages. At this stage, individuals move beyond reasoning only about concrete experience and think in more abstract, idealistic, and logical ways. Here are writing activities encourage students to create hierarchical outlines and organize their writing in terms of general and specific points, and also the abstractness of formal operational thinking also means that the teacher at here have to encourage them to use metaphor on their writing. The other theory that can support why our activities are appropriate to junior high school students, we use Vygotsky theory. He stated that children use speech not only for social communication but also help them to solve tasks. In our speaking activity, we not only apply communication but also we encourage students to solve their problems on describing animals on their own words.
Language development. First, sex 2009. Children benefit when their parents and teachers actively engage them in conversation, ask them questions, and emphasize interactive rather than directive language. Second, middle and late childhood, 6 until 11 years old. Vocabulary development continues. 1400 words at age 6 to 1400 words by age 11. Children also make similar advances in grammar, able to use language in a more connected way, producing connected discourse. These advances in vocabulary and grammar during the elementary school years are accompanied by the development of metalinguistic awareness. Children also make progress in the area of pragmatics, understanding how to use language in culturally appropriate ways. Third is adolescence, 10 until 12 to 18 until 21 years old. Language development during adolescence is characterized by become much better than children at analyzing the function of word placed in a sentence as they develop abstract thinking. Activity: students make groups of 4 students, then they will be given one card and they have to describe it. A student in the group will have different card and the others have to guess it. Develop more subtle abilities with words. From Berman, 2010, The Use of Metaphor and Satire. Activity: students describe the animals' names in their own words. Language development in the area of writing is characterized by better at organizing ideas before they write or outlining. Activity: students make outlines about their favorite animal in descriptive text, able to distinguish between general and specific points as they write. Activity: students make two paragraphs and they can tell which points are general and specific when writing descriptive text. Able to string together sentences that make sense. Activity: students make 6 sentences in each paragraph about their favorite animal and the sentences must be connected to each other.